Shout out to my Spizons, both of them. Got the exclusive $500,000 joint. This joint butter. I just put this on here for y'all. I ain't even get dressed for the Disney. Is that? But excuse me. $500,000. That's what it is. Good miss on it, people. Ken Intelligent. God's property. Shit looking like a Charlotte joint. One of my very, very talented fans know that I'm a $500,000 fan. I'm probably the biggest $500,000 fan. So they sent me his exclusive jersey and shit. You know, I like to say it was custom made for me, but that ain't the truth. You could buy one too. They on Instagram. See, Miliato. You got the you know, his logo and shit. The tough guy logo and shit. Ken Intelligent talked that shit to him. He said, I thought you had on a throwback Orlando Magic. Nah, this is a $500,000 joint, man. This is dedicated to my favorite MC of all time. And this joint official as a motherfucker. Live by the code. What up, Hemp Lord? I appreciate your super chat early. He came in here firing. What does 500K represent? 500K is a $500,000. 500K is a $500,000. Get it? Boom, boom, boom. He said, oh, this title got federal all over it. Oh, no, we need to talk about this. This is a title that hasn't been exposed in our community yet. I think I'm the first person to bring it to the table, as usual. But anyway, I gotta get something to sit on. Shout out to North. Oh, he said South Philly. South Philly and North Philly here. My man said made $375 so far in my shop this morning. That's what's up to you. That's what's up. Most don't have the knowledge to put them together. He said, I just bought 3 biscuits. Oh, man. So listen, right? Why ain't y'all tell me about the ghost guns? This ghost gun shit is crazy. Is y'all familiar with this? He said, I'm down south. Are y'all familiar with what a ghost gun is? Do y'all know what a ghost gun is? This shit is crazy. This shit is crazy, yo. Anybody. He said, young black kids dying crazy. He said, what? Nah. He said, I'm like, okay, that's cool. He said, yeah, no real serial number. This is what it is. This is what it is. This is what it looked like to me. It looked like a gun replica. It looked like a gun replica. It looked like when you go buy pieces for a model train set and you gotta break them out the plastic, break them out the frame and shit, and put the screws in them and shit like that. This is like a replica kit. They selling a kit. They selling a kit, right? You can buy this kit, and it ain't no crime. It's like you a replica, a gun replica collector. You can buy this kit, and it ain't no crime. And you could break this kit down. It got all of the pieces for a gun, and you could just literally snap this motherfucker into place and shit. And drill holes in it, and I mean, you know, screw it, and they literally making fucking guns from scratch. They taking zip guns to the next level. He said they use Glock parts. So what is it? the way that they selling them at these trade shows and shit like that, it's almost like it's a toy. It's almost like it's a toy. You break it down and you snap. He said it's called 3D printing. He said like how people make their own guns all the time. He said, is it real? They not traceable. He said it's a hybrid. They're not traceable. They're not traceable because it's not a part of infrastructure. It's not a part of commerce and shit. They have no way of tracking these joints and shit. They basically like throwaway pieces and shit. They've confiscated 572 of these joints in Philadelphia. He said 3D printing. They are 3D printing. You buy the machine on Amazon for $170, and you buy the internal parts from online. Those are Rapid and Flint, no serial numbers. He said they all in Europe. Real bullets, plastic blicky. He said it's beautiful, actually. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. This will contribute to extreme lawlessness. I don't know why I'm the last motherfucker to know about the ghost guns and shit. I don't keep track of shit like that, but they literally making guns. I said all you need is a 3D printer. Now, what do the printer got to do with it? What do a printer have to do with it? Peace. He said Vice had a special about it. Fat Trail from DC was arrested for one some years ago. You get the frame complete and use Glock parts to complete it. Logic Sphere, I appreciate you. That's why you don't need a carry conceal in Atlanta. He said this shit crazy. Be careful downloading prints. Get years for the blueprints. Now, what you mean about, what y'all mean, what does the printer have to do with a pistol? Some of them joints are real parts. It's not illegal until you put it together. He said technology's so advanced now, you can make hammers from plastic. They putting switches on them too. All ghost guns not plastic either. The printer creates it. So it's a piece, it start out as a piece of paper. Oh, a three-dimensional printer. Gully, the CIA, been using them joints since the 1970s. Just like machine parts, jewelers use it. Oh, I get it now. I get it now. When you buy some custom jewelry and shit, they send you a mock-up, and it's essentially a three-dimensional printout. Let me know if you want to have a real conversation on this. It's a lot of information. I'm just coming into the knowledge of it. They make 3D cars and houses now. He said, yes, exactly. My man said, I'm so glad not to be in the streets. Good morning to everybody here. Like this video and share it. Remember the gun Clint Eastwood made in jail? Basically that. It's a mold. They make it with the printer. And from the printer, they make a casting. He said it's crazy in the Bronx with it. The same thing as a jeweler. Firearms are just tools. This technology is a know-it-all. Then they pour the metal in it. Niggas is pouring metal. It's the same concept as jewelry. He said, Gully sound like an old man. It starts from a piece of paper. This is a fucking amazing. This is a fucking amazing. Who would go to this extent to make a goddamn pistol? I mean, I guess it's a hustle, but it ain't, man. Technology ran wild. Ghost guns don't have to be 3D. You can just buy gun parts and assemble it yourself. He said, ghost guns been out. I ain't into guns. I don't keep up with the gun technology. He said, I knew this was gonna hit the hood. They come 80% incomplete, means it's not legally a firearm. Anybody can buy the kit. My man said, I make my own bullets. This is too much. The beauty of it is the fact that it's plastic. Ghost mean untraceable. Wasn't a problem until us blacks started printing. They calling them printing. They calling it printing. So people are buying, he said it's not plastic, it's polymer. You could buy these materials. You can buy liquid polymer and pour it. Real upper level hitmen been using them. This ain't nothing new. You can buy parts, type it in YouTube. This shit is crazy as a motherfucker, yo. All my AR-15s are built from 80% lower receivers. This is crazy as a motherfucker. This is crazy as a motherfucker. YouTube had the video on how they made. You can buy gallons of polymer off of Amazon. The KGB was into this. Good morning, Rodriguez Jackson. They show the polymer-made ghost guns in the movies. You can buy the parts online from China. Gun manufacturers are just jealous. This is unfucking believable. COVID made people have a lot of time on their hands. I know for a fact knowledge and technology spiked during the pandemic. When they sent people home from their jobs, when they closed jobs and shit, that put everybody in a penitent situation. Quiet reflection. That's, you know, the word penitent is the root word in penitentiary. When COVID came, everybody was in penitent, quiet reflection at home and shit, and had time to think. Creativity, the human mind, creativity took over. Everybody's creating and trying to figure out how to make it and shit. And before you know it, people making it. You can buy the kits from gun shows with no ID, no background check, and it's all legal. Yeah, I seen they showed a young white boy. I don't know how old he was. Go and they had a hidden camera, and they were standing behind him, and he was like, he asked the price, and he was like, I can buy one. He was like, hell yeah, you can buy one. He was like, I don't need no ID. He was like, nah, let's go and shit. I'm like, damn. This is a much needed skill. Somebody getting rich off this shit. Imagine somebody that just sit around in their crib and make hammers all day. People been making ghost guns for years now. He said, I remember the white boy said it's easier to buy a gun in the candy bar. You don't need a 3D printer. It's easier to buy the parts. They just had a bust in Oregon. 572 of them been recovered in Philadelphia and shit. I'm saying to myself, damn, where do I... This definitely contributes to the violence, the accessibility of guns. Everybody got tons of guns on their hands. You might want to shoot one of them motherfuckers. My man said, I just got eaten a big old pork chop sandwich. You gonna get kitten answer. Since you want to volunteer that. He said, you won't catch me at no gun show. Tanisha, good morning. What cities is up in here? Cartel's been doing this for the last decade for cities like New York, Philly, etc. You can use soda bottles to make the plastic too. Scotland, Glasgow, Scotland, Jersey, Detroit, Brick City, Compton, DC. What up, Slim? Detroit. What up, though? Phoenix, Atlanta, Charleston, South Carolina, Oakland. Shout out to Oakland. Shout out to Oakland. Tyson Garcia, Sacramento. Cleveland, Ohio. Criminals don't care about laws. They recovered over 400 in DC last year. London, England. Erie in the building. South Bronx, DC. Ethiopia, Norfolk. Gully, I've been studying. Send an email. Gully TV Boss at Gmail. Okay. He said, how long you been live? 16 minutes. 16 minutes. We talking about this this phenom, the Ghost Gun phenom. DC police recovered 400 last year. I know this gonna be a continuous problem because it's like a trade. Imagine learning how to make a hammer from scratch. Like back in the day when we shorties and shit. The nigga who knew how to make the slingshots, he was popping and shit because he had to show everybody how to make them and shit. We made a variety of slingshots and guns and shit growing up. Not no gun to fire no fucking pistol. A gun to fire different type of projectiles, rocks, pieces of glass, just anything. Just anything. It wasn't no bullets. Little pieces of metal and shit. Wasn't no bullets involved. Feds are going to, he said marbles. Yeah, busting windows and shit like that. He said the summer going to be crazy. I'm no gangster street dude or tough guy, but my toes stay close. He said frozen batteries. He said he laughed at the slingshots. The niggas that knew how to make them was popping. So imagine if it was an industry behind it. A nigga gonna sit around and make fucking slingshots all day. He gonna sit around and make slingshots all day. So a motherfucker that know how to make hammers gonna sit around and make fucking hammers all day. Day in the city's heavy. Shh. He said, keep it down, Gully. Motherfucker's still hustling. He said spark plugs, slingshot with the batteries was deadly. He said, what about the bamboo popper? I knew how to make the joint with the clothespin too. Y'all remember them joints with the clothespins? With the rubber bands and shit? You put the joint, the clothespin in the joint, the other clothespin piece and had the rubber bands on it and shit. Them joints is nice too. My cousin taught me how to make them. We made them forever. He said, hell yeah. Y'all remember them joints? He said, yup. He said, she was bottle tops. We used to have little wars with them joints. My mom would break them shits all the time. Just snap them in half. Just snap them over and what? Give me that. Yes, G-Shaw, he said I do spark plug joints. He said busted out the porch boards for them. You know what you talking about, because that's what, them is the joints that we have. Yeah, the little fencing under the porch. Kick them joints out. They had the strips already and shit. I can't believe you really know about that shit. You really an expert. You was vandalizing porches, making them go. He said I used to make the double barrel joints. Oh shit. He said them joints are serious. My older cousins was making them joints and shit, made me one and shit. I went back to my block and showed all my homies how to make them and shit. My mom used to break them joints. Ghost guns can be legally ordered on the internet. You can buy them at gun shows and trade shows now. This is an industry. Good morning, everybody. He said that brings back memory. It did. Once my man said the porch, I knew he knew what I was talking about. But if a person know how to make a gun from scratch, they're gonna continue to do it. Now we got an idea why shootings are up, murders are up. There's guns everywhere. It's a plethora of guns everywhere. And they got access to them. And it's totally, the fist fight is totally over with. It's out of style. It's going to be like something that people look back in time like, man, you remember that shit? Remember when people used to get out in the street and punch each other in the face and bust their lips and shit like that? That shit over with. Bust a nigga lip now, man. Woo-wee. It ain't no telling how many shots gonna go off. He said, yeah, that shit definitely over. Wild Wild West all over again. Cowboy times all over again. He said it's easier to get a gun than to vote. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you get the notifications. I got dope content for y'all. If y'all follow me on IG, y'all got an idea about the next probably like 5 artists that I just interviewed and shit. I gave sneak peeks. He said motherfuckers gonna start catching bodies with drones. They banging switches in DC. Switches is everywhere. Kids is influenced by the music. The niggas that's doing the music is talking about switches. They showing them, they waving them around in their videos. And before you know it, a kid don't want a starter jacket. He want a gun with a switch on it. Rakim and Big Daddy Kane, they wasn't waving guns around in our face. Them niggas was waving MCM jackets around in our face. They was waving MCM jackets around in our face. They was waving African medallions and gold chain, 3-finger rings and shit. We like, man, I gotta get me a ring. I gotta get me a ring. Niggas didn't want, guns was not even a part of the fucking, it wasn't even a part of the scene, period. Like, what you got a gun for? Switches are not illegal, are not legal. I'm in DC, gun licenses are flying off of the copy machines. Mob Deep, 8-Ball MJG, he said I had like 30. I was rocking the fuck out of them in the 6th grade and shit. Niggas used to be buying them off my neck in school in the lunchroom and shit. You know, giving me their whole plate and shit for a joint. .40-inch cables. He said in Brooklyn, my old head said the Jamaicans brought the guns to the hood. Who had the X jacket. Niggas who had money had that X jacket. He said, see, us as a people are peaceful people. He said, yeah, Gully, the square up is like the dinosaur. It's extinct. Michael Beasley said, everyone out here crying for help is in our music. I seen that interview and shit. He said his mom stole from him. I believe that could really, really hurt somebody and shit. That'll really fuck you up because now it's almost like you gotta eliminate a parent from your life and shit. This is the $500,000 dedication jersey, man, dedicated to my favorite rapper. $500,000. He was from Brooklyn. Let you see the back. Miliato. Get you one. His people got him for sale on IG and shit. They know he was my favorite MC, so they sent me one first. He said, have you seen the Magic Johnson TV show? Yeah, I was watching it last night. He said, right. Who do you trust after your mom's lived from you? Yeah, that's crazy. Thirsty ass mom stealing. She's stealing what's going to be given to her. Thirsty ass mom stealing. If she's in a position to steal, that means he trusts her. That means he trusts her. Bitch, you stealing shit that's going to be given to you anyway and shit. That's just terrible. You're a terrible person. That's crazy. People like that be putting children into the world and shit. He said, right. You know what we do? Not me, because I ain't a part of this shit. You know what niggas do after they kill somebody, maim somebody, you know, tie somebody's family up, fulfill an obligation on some type of murder for hire scheme or some shit like that. After they do that, they go buy designer clothing. That's so sick. You had to resort to that to get fresh. You the bummest nigga of all time. Niggas who gotta resort to that. Let me put this out there. Niggas who gotta resort to that to get fresh, you already know what you are. You a scumbag, piece of shit, low life, gutter rat, a bottom feeding ass nigga if you have to resort to that to get fresh. He said, I was just laughing at your joint about the dudes who disrupt the bid. Hell yeah. Fucking up the bid. Always doing something to somebody. And shit, every time you look around, this motherfucker then did something to somebody or about to do something to somebody. That shit just disrupts everything. The balance, the good-natured environment and shit. He said selling drugs not much better, but yeah. A person who consumes drugs, pay for it, that's their personal decision. That's an exchange. That's a business. That's commerce. That's commerce. A person can buy leaves from you. You can go take leaves out of the tree and shit. Somebody might like to smoke that shit. You can sell it to them if they want to buy it and shit. But soliciting murder and paying to get niggas hit and shit like that, the niggas that do that shit, the niggas that's into that type of shit, you a low-life piece of shit-ass nigga. You had to resort to risking your life. The trigger man, I'm talking about the trigger man. You had to resort to risking your life to get fresh. Because that's what you're doing when you hit a motherfucker. You risking your life. You risking the next 50 years and shit. You risking wheels and shit. You risking a life sentence. You risking being away from your family for the rest of your life. Because you wanted $10,000 because you wanted $5,000. Niggas getting hit for $1,000. You dig what I'm saying? Bum ass nigga. And then after the money gone, then what? What you got to do it again? You bum ass nigga. $50 years for Amiri Dior. Genius. He said Terrence will finish Spence. Bud Crawford, nice. He showed us repeatedly. He said, great live once again. We got to keep it Gully. He said, what's on deck for Gully this spring? More media, more hip-hop, sports, and fashion. I'm going to just pour it on. I'm going to continue to pour it on. I've always told y'all this. Showed y'all niggas. What Beanie say? I told y'all niggas, then I showed y'all niggas. Anyway, I wish I could blow in here. I'd be steaming like a motherfucker. It's a ghost gun because it's not traceable. It's a ghost gun because it's made from fucking scratch. And not traceable. Yeah. Hemp Lord, that's what's up. Marcus, good morning. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. I see the notifications kind of crept out a little late. I appreciate all of y'all. Did you ever come up on that OG Kush? I'm a sativa smoker. Jay-Z told you don't knock the hustle. Let's not tear down the shooters. That ain't no hustle. That ain't no hustle. It's not a hustle. It's not. It's not. Bud will catch that boy. He's got too much info. How Spence should have fought TBC a long time ago. He said OG Kush is a sativa. I think OG Kush is an indica, y'all. Thank you. Side forward Breezy. I just told him that. It's in Connecticut, crazy. OG Kush is indica. Know what I'm talking about? Because that ain't my favorite strain. That's not what's in this jar. That's not what's in this wood. Sativa is for the creators. Indica knock your ass down, make you go to sleep. Indica is for cancer patients and shit like that. My man said New York got dookie weed. Ooh, wee. Shots fired. Shots fired. It's garbage weed everywhere. Don't run into a bag. Don't run into a bag. I don't wish that on my worst enemies. Indica dominant strains are all that work for me. Your tolerance up. He said New York got the best bud on the East Coast. I don't know about that. When the Sour Diesel was out, they had it for sure. Harlem. The whole city had it after a while, but Uptown, oh my goodness. Sheesh. He said, I stopped smoking, but I smoke sativas. Sativas taste the best. What's your bracket looking like? I'm just standing out on the periphery of the whole situation. I'm watching St. Peter's, that Shaheen Holloway squad. He was on the press conference saying a lot of his team is made up of players from New Jersey and New York. They doing their thing. I think I watch Auburn. I've been watching games, man. It's just so many right now. It ain't once it get down to the Sweet 16 and shit like that, I'll be able to focus a little bit more. But I think they about to be at the Sweet 16 in a minute. Shout out to Juwan Howard. Juwan Howard's still in it. Juwan Howard survived. He survived. Juwan Howard threw a punch and survived. They must owe him big money. He must. If I was a university and I had one of the Fab Five or a former star player like that, I would keep him too, for recruiting purposes. For recruiting purposes. Come in the locker room, Chris Webber was in there. You seen C Webb in there. That's what you get when you play for Michigan. You get you a little Fab Five. So they got to keep him. He gonna continue to get them black athletes to come through. It's like the Deion Sanders recipe. He said snuff money right in the kisser. I'm way too big for Gilly. I killed Gilly. You think Juwan Howard going to punch somebody else? Nah, he done. He made his point. He said Sour Diesel was trash. Not the Diesel I'm talking about. It ain't around anymore. Boom, 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 boom. Well, he said New York don't got no sour. Connecticut got sour. The sour strain I'm talking about ain't around no more, man. Because if it was, it'd still be a big deal. It'd still be hoopla about it. Revolutionary visions, I just told him that. Somebody came out with the New York Diesel and it is an indica. East 22nd Street, Flatbush. He said sour been out the window. Sour Chills in the dispensary is official. That's what this come from. The dispensary. Can this stand up by itself? He said, I don't think they really know the weed game. He said, haven't seen real Diesel since 08. Good morning, everybody. I'm going to give y'all a few minutes. I appreciate y'all getting up this morning, fucking with your boy. The Ghost Gun Phenom is scary. It's a new topic to me. After I get up out of here, I'm gonna go look at. They told me that they got a Vice TV special about it. I'm gonna see what that's about. You ever try Astro Pink? Nah, man. Pink Bazooka. I'm out here truck trafficking, burnt through all your podcast episodes. That's what's up. New episodes coming this week. He said Cali got the best dispensaries. Facts. Everybody tolerance levels are high, so all that good weed ain't what it was. I disagree. It should taste the same. Dun, dun, dun. I'm at work. I be listening on Spotify. Thank you. Hit the like button before y'all get up out of here. I appreciate y'all for coming through. The Ghost Guns are Polymer 80s. The kid is legally sold. I find it very, very difficult to bet against Terrence Crawford from what I've seen from him. Niggas, he's relentless. You gonna do a no jumper interview. I'm gonna do everything to make myself different from the rest of these niggas on purpose. That's what I'm gonna do. Peace.